Arsenal fans, this could be one of the biggest stories of the transfer window. Reports suggest that Bruno Guimarães' potential move to Arsenal has entered a very advanced stage, with discussions progressing as both clubs continue working toward what could become one of the Premier League's biggest transfers. While an official announcement has not been made and no final confirmation has arrived yet, excitement among Arsenal supporters is growing every single day. If you're an Arsenal supporter who never wants to miss a major update, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications and join thousands of Gunners following every step of Arsenal's incredible journey. Imagine seeing Bruno Guimarães walking out at the Emirates Stadium wearing the famous red and white shirt. Imagine Declan Rice lining up beside him. Imagine Martin Ødegaard leading the team just ahead of them. That midfield would immediately become one of the strongest in Europe. This is exactly why Arsenal supporters around the world are watching every update with incredible excitement. Mikel Arteta has made no secret of his ambition. Arsenal are no longer satisfied with simply competing. The objective is clear: win the Premier League, challenge for the UEFA Champions League, and build a squad capable of dominating for years to come. Over the past few seasons, Arsenal have transformed into genuine title contenders. They've assembled one of the youngest and most exciting squads in world football, but everyone knows there is still one area Arteta wants to strengthen even further: midfield. Although Arsenal already possess tremendous quality with Declan Rice, Martin Ødegaard and other talented options, adding a player like Bruno Guimarães would elevate the entire team to another level. Bruno is not just another midfielder. He is a player who controls the tempo of matches, breaks opposition attacks, wins crucial duels, delivers precise passes through defensive lines, and inspires teammates with his relentless energy. Week after week in the Premier League, he has proven he can perform against the strongest opponents. That experience is invaluable. Arsenal have learned painful lessons in recent title races. Small margins separate champions from runners-up. One injury, one difficult away match, or one moment of lost control can change an entire season. That is why elite clubs continue improving even when they already have excellent players. This potential signing isn't simply about adding another name to the squad. It's about sending a powerful message to the rest of England, a message that Arsenal are ready to compete with anyone, a message that they intend to fight for every trophy available, a message that the project under Mikel Arteta continues to grow stronger every transfer window. Of course, Newcastle United understand exactly how valuable Bruno Guimarães is. He has become one of their leaders, both on and off the pitch, making any negotiations extremely difficult. That's why this story has attracted so much attention across world football. Whenever a player of Bruno's quality becomes linked with a move, headlines appear everywhere because elite midfielders capable of influencing every phase of the game are incredibly rare. Arsenal supporters have flooded social media with excitement. Some believe Bruno is the final missing piece. Others think this could become the biggest Arsenal signing since Declan Rice. Many fans are already imagining how incredible the midfield partnership between Rice and Bruno could become. Would that partnership finally deliver the Premier League title? Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. Because if this move becomes reality, Arsenal's ambitions won't just be about competing anymore. They'll be about winning absolutely everything. Stay with us. How Arsenal reached this point with Bruno Guimarães. For Arsenal fans, this transfer story did not appear overnight. The interest in Bruno Guimarães has been building for a long time. Arsenal have admired his qualities for years, and the club's recruitment team has always looked at players who fit Mikel Arteta's vision: technically gifted, mentally strong, physically capable, and experienced enough to perform under pressure. Bruno represents exactly that profile. Since joining Newcastle United, the Brazilian midfielder has developed into one of the Premier League's most complete midfielders. He arrived as a talented player with huge potential, but he quickly became much more than that. He became a leader. He became the heartbeat of Newcastle's midfield. and he became the type of player that every top club in Europe wants. So why are Arsenal pushing so strongly for him? The answer is simple. Mikel Arteta wants more control, more quality and more options in the middle of the pitch. Modern football is often decided in midfield. The team that controls possession, wins battles and dictates the rhythm usually controls the match. Arsenal already have world-class qualities in their squad, but adding another elite midfielder would give Arteta even more tactical freedom. Behind the scenes, Arsenal have been carefully building a squad capable of competing on multiple fronts. They have invested heavily in players who can handle pressure and deliver at the highest level. Declan Rice arrived as a statement signing. Martin Ødegaard became the creative leader. And now Bruno Guimarães has emerged as a player who could bring another dimension to the team. However, completing this type of transfer is never simple. Newcastle United know exactly what they have in Bruno. He is not only a talented footballer, he is one of their most important figures. His leadership, passion and influence make him extremely difficult to replace. That is why Newcastle have always placed a huge value on him. From Newcastle's perspective, losing Bruno would create a major problem. Replacing a midfielder who can defend, create, score and lead is incredibly difficult. This is why negotiations require patience. Arsenal must find an agreement that satisfies Newcastle while also protecting their own financial plans. The reported figures involved show just how highly Bruno is valued. A transfer fee in the region of £80 million would make this one of Arsenal's biggest investments ever. But Arsenal are not looking at only the price, they are looking at the impact. A player like Bruno could potentially improve the entire team. He could help Arsenal control difficult matches. He could provide leadership during Champions League nights. He could give teammates more confidence because they know there is another elite player beside them. Another important factor is Bruno's own ambitions. At this stage of his career, every top player wants to compete for the biggest trophies. Premier League titles, Champions League trophies, major honours, and Arsenal believe their project offers exactly that opportunity. The Gunners have shown they are serious about challenging the very best teams in Europe. They have built a strong foundation and now they are looking for the final pieces that can take them from contenders to champions. This is why the Bruno Guimarães story has captured so much attention. It is not simply a transfer, it is a battle between Newcastle trying to keep their superstar and Arsenal trying to complete a major upgrade to their squad. The next stage of negotiations could decide everything. Will Arsenal secure one of the Premier League's best midfielders? Will Newcastle convince Bruno to stay and continue leading their project? Or are we heading toward a historic transfer that could change the balance of power in English football? Coming up next, we will look at exactly why Bruno Guimarães could be the perfect midfielder for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal and why his style of play matches the Gunners' philosophy so well. Why Bruno Guimarães could be the perfect Arsenal midfielder, Arsenal fans. Now let's talk about the biggest reason this transfer has created so much excitement. Why Bruno Guimarães? Why would Mikel Arteta and Arsenal's recruitment team be willing to invest such a huge amount of money in one midfielder? The answer is because Bruno is not a normal midfielder. He is a complete midfielder. In modern football, the best midfielders are not just players who pass the ball. They have to do everything. They must defend. They must create. They must control the speed of the game. They must handle pressure. They must perform when the biggest moments arrive. And Bruno Guimarães has shown all of those qualities in the Premier League. One of Bruno's biggest strengths is his ability to control matches. When the game becomes chaotic, when opponents press aggressively, when the pressure increases, Bruno has the confidence and technical ability to keep possession and make the right decision. He does not panic. He wants the ball. He demands responsibility. And that mentality is exactly what top clubs need. For Arsenal, this could be extremely important. Mikel Arteta's football is built around control. The Gunners want to dominate possession, recover the ball quickly, and create constant pressure on opponents. Bruno fits perfectly into that philosophy. Defensively, he brings intensity and intelligence. He reads the game quickly. He understands when to step forward and win the ball. He knows how to block passing lanes and disrupt opposition attacks. This defensive awareness would give Arsenal another powerful weapon in midfield. Imagine a midfield where Declan Rice provides physical strength and defensive security, while Bruno adds creativity, aggression and technical quality. That combination could become one of the most complete midfield partnerships in world football. But Bruno's quality is not only about defending. His passing ability is another major reason Arsenal admire him. He can play short passes to control possession. He can switch the play with long-range passes. He can break defensive lines with clever balls into attacking areas. Against teams that sit deep, having a midfielder who can unlock spaces is incredibly valuable. Another important quality is his personality. Football at the highest level is not only about ability, it is also about mentality. Bruno plays with emotion. He fights for every ball. He leads by example. He understands the pressure of playing for a club with huge expectations. Those qualities matter at Arsenal. The Emirates Stadium demands players who can handle pressure, players who can respond after difficult moments, players who believe they belong among the best. Bruno has already experienced that environment at Newcastle, where expectations have increased dramatically in recent years. He has played important Premier League matches. He has experienced European football. He has represented Brazil. He understands what it means to perform on the biggest stages. Tactically, Bruno would give Arteta many options. He can operate as a deep-lying midfielder. He can play as an advanced number 8. He can help Arsenal control transitions. He can contribute with goals and assists. This flexibility is extremely valuable because modern managers need players who can adapt during matches. A signing like Bruno is not just about improving the starting 11, it is about raising the entire level of the squad. When one elite player arrives, competition increases, standards increase, everyone improves, and that is exactly what Arsenal are trying to create. A squad where every position has world-class quality, a squad capable of fighting for every trophy. Of course, there will be debates. Some fans will ask, is Bruno worth a fee around £80 million? Others will ask, should Arsenal invest that money in another position? These are fair questions, but there is no doubt that Bruno Guimarães represents the type of player every ambitious club wants. A midfielder with quality, a midfielder with experience, a midfielder with leadership, a midfielder who could change the way Arsenal play. In the next part, we will look at the most exciting question for Arsenal supporters. How would Mikel Arteta's starting 11 look if Bruno Guimarães arrives at the Emirates? And could this new midfield finally give Arsenal the power to challenge for every major trophy? How Bruno Guimarães would transform Arsenal's midfield. Arsenal fans, now let's imagine the impact Bruno Guimarães could have at the Emirates. A midfield featuring Declan Rice, Bruno Guimarães and Martin Ødegaard would give Mikel Arteta incredible balance. Declan Rice brings strength, defensive ability and energy. Bruno brings creativity, control, aggression and experience. Ødegaard provides vision, passing and attacking intelligence. Together they could give Arsenal more control against the biggest teams in England and Europe. Bruno's ability to win the ball, progress play and handle pressure would allow Arsenal to dominate matches even more. This signing would not only improve the starting 11, it would increase competition and raise standards across the entire squad. For Arteta, having a player like Bruno could provide more tactical options and make Arsenal even more dangerous in their pursuit of trophies. The big question remains, could Bruno Guimarães be the final piece that helps Arsenal finally lift the Premier League trophy? The financial side of the Bruno Guimarães transfer. Arsenal fans, behind every huge transfer is a complicated negotiation, and the potential move for Bruno Guimarães is no different. A player of Bruno's quality does not come cheap.